Hello and welcome to Intro to Essential Oils. My name is Tessa Aranda. This is my first time doing a live hangout webinar class, and so it's going to be interesting because I'm trying to kind of understand where I can see everything. So I can see a chat box. I can't see who all is on, so if you are signed on right now, once you sign on, if you could please type in the chat box and let me know that you are here. So welcome. My name is Tessa Aranda. I have been using essential oils for about 10 years. The last 5 years I have been using doTERRA essential oils, and it was really a huge change in what I had used in the past. And since then we have experienced a myriad of things. We started using essential oils about 6 months after I had my first child, and we've experienced everything from cold and flus and to mastitis to I actually had a really bad case of MRSA that we were able to use essential oils to support our body in getting through those different illnesses, and we have not used any prescription antibiotics in the last 5 years, and rarely have we used any even over the counters. Now for me, the only reason that we had pulled out the over the counter hand and hadn't used for any kind of over the counter painkillers or anything like that for almost 4 years, and then this past January, so over a year ago now, but in January I got shingles, and I didn't know that's what it was. I was pregnant, and I thought that it was this weird pregnancy disease called PUPS, which you actually have to scrub and get rid of the sores in order for it to heal. Well, it actually was blisters. It was shingles, and they were little blisters, and so the scrubbing that I did actually didn't help, made it a lot worse. But I was able to use antiviral oils and really help kick the virus pretty quickly. People who have shingles usually have it. From what I saw, they usually, it was at least a month that they were suffering through the nerve pain and the itching and all the different things that come with the shingles. There's nerve pain, there's itching, there's just, I couldn't sleep. It was pretty miserable. But the essential oils that I used that were antiviral really helped to kick it pretty quickly. But during that time, I did experience a lot of pain and itching. And as a mom of 2 young children, and I was also 30-something weeks pregnant, I knew that I needed to be able to sleep. So even though the oils were an amazing support, for the first time in 3 years, that's when I actually used some Benadryl and some extra strength Tylenol, and I slept, and it was such a blessing. So that's why I love these essential oils, is because they're a support for, there's modern medicine and there's these natural alternatives, and we can use them together to best support our bodies and our wellness. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. So, do you want safer, cheaper, and more effective healthcare? Yes? I hope your answer is yes. Most people do, and I'm here today to kind of help you to understand why these essential oils are a really amazing solution for safer, cheaper, and more effective healthcare. So $4.5 trillion a year spent on global healthcare, and are we healthier because of it? I love that question because, you know, the medical model that we have here in our country truly is searching for something different, because what we have in our model is treating symptoms. They're designed, you know, the prescriptions and the different methodologies of treatment are designed to manage symptoms, and not really, there's not a lot of emphasis put on prevention and wellness. And so that's a journey that we've kind of taken in our family, and that I think a lot of people in the country are kind of looking to now, to be able to, not be at the mercy of the system. So they're made from synthetic agents, and the side effects are both known and unknown. Those commercials that you see on TV that says, it's this beautiful scenery and somebody's riding their bike and swimming in the ocean, and oh, life is so wonderful when you just take this drug. But just so you know, the side effects are blah, 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 all these terrible different things, and possibly death. So that's kind of, the known side effects are there and they're presented to us, but the unknown side effects are the long term. So we know these short term side effects, but where are we going to be as a people in 50 years? This modern medicine, these modern drugs are about 50 years old, and so it's just this up and coming generation that we're really going to start understanding what these have done to our body. So prescription drugs equal symptom management. So they're synthetically produced, doctors prescribe them, patients use them, and then there are side effects. The doctors will prescribe something else to treat the side effect, and then you'll use them. And somebody shared a really cool little cartoon on this, all about she had a rash, so she went to the doctor, and the medicine she gave for the rash gave her depression, and so then she got depression medication, which actually one of the side effects was, I think it was a rash. And so then she headed back to the doctor. So that's what's so, it's kind of disheartening with that whole system. So another option is natural solutions to true wellness. So nature produces all of these different abundant gifts for us, and they meet the body's needs, and the body is able to heal itself. So nature's medicine minimizes symptoms, addresses root causes, made of hundreds of natural compounds found in plants that enhance physical and emotional health. So every plant has hundreds to thousands of different compounds found in it naturally, and they're balanced in and of themselves, everything that is put in them. So synthetic drugs are modifications of active compounds that are found naturally in plants. And the thing that's harmful and dangerous is that when they're synthesized, they're also isolated. And so something that is the active compound naturally in wintergreen, for example, when it's isolated, there's a lack of balance that is found naturally in the plant, and the isolated chemical agent that is, yes, it's active at helping with pain, but because there aren't other chemical constituents in there balancing it out, it can cause different side effects within the body instead of helping the body reach homeostasis, which these natural things do. So the really awesome thing about essential oils is they cost pennies per dose. And they range anywhere from, I think, 7 cents a drop. doTERRA's oil is 7 cents a drop to $1 a drop. That's it. And one drop is the standard dose for different things. So there's no time or money at the for doctor's visits, no copay, safe benefits without side effects. We rarely have gone to the doctor in the last 5 years for just ordinary things, because we have the tools. We feel amazingly empowered to help our family when things come up. And my girls have gotten sick, and we've gotten sick. I mean, I had shingles. I have had strep. The girls had hand, foot, and mouth. There's lots of different things. And we'll talk about why with shingles and hand, foot, and mouth especially, it's really kind of redundant to go to the doctor because they're viral, and we'll talk a little bit about viruses. So there's safe benefits without side effects. As long as you're using the oils safely and correctly, there's safe benefits and there aren't those side effects. So this is a peppermint leaf, and that is a peppermint leaf magnified on the bottom. And those are the little oil sacs that are found on the leaf, and that's where the oils come from. So something that's really neat. Essential oils are powerful. They inhibit the growth of bacteria and viruses, and that's huge, because when you go to the doctor, they'll tell you you have a virus, so go home and drink lots of fluids and just try to get better. There's nothing we can really do for you. Sometimes they might tell you that it's viral, and then they'll try to they say, here's a Z-Pack just in case. Well, we could talk in another class. We go a little bit more in depth in some of our other classes as to why rampant antibiotic use and even using a lot of oregano and doTERRA's On Guard is not necessarily the best thing to do all the time, because you're wiping your body of good bacteria. So essential oils are neat because they do wipe the body of that bad bacteria. Some of the really strong oils do kill some of that good bacteria as well, but they have studied it over and over again, and there's an understanding that the essential oils do not kill as much of the good bacteria as antibiotics. They're better for the body than antibiotics, and they don't know why. They haven't been able to understand or to prove scientifically exactly why the essential oils do that. They don't kill as much of the good bacteria, but that's what happens. And viruses, we'll talk about in just a minute, that no prescription medication, no medication at the store can kill a virus, but essential oils can actually get to viruses and help them to go away. So we'll explain why. Essential oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. Now, that's incredible. If you drink 1 cup of peppermint tea, peppermint is well known to help with stomach issues, and peppermint tea is really good for you. But a lot of times, just one cup of that is not enough. 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. And so if you want to make yourself a warm tea when you're having stomach pain or stomach issues, you only need to use 1 drop, and you can even dip a toothpick in your oil bottle and just swirl it around the water, and that's about 1/3 of a drop that you are using, and it's that much more potent, and it will help you feel better. So the Plant's Own Natural Medicine Cabinet, the plants have developed these different chemical constituents over years and years of being here on the earth around different things, different bacteria, different viruses. All of these different things are apparent and have been around these plants for generations, and they have developed this defense, which are these oils. So I want you to think for a minute what your top 3 health concerns or goals are, and we will talk in just a moment about those different things and how the tools that you can use to look those things up. I'm kind of trying to figure out where my screen is. Okay, because I think it's recording me again. Okay. So, I'm going to play a little bit video for you about why doTERRA is different, what makes doTERRA different. And if you're on right now, I want just to see who's on and who's participating. If you could chat, let me know in the chat box that you're on, and that if you have any questions, or if you're thinking about your top 3 health concerns or goals, go ahead and type them in right there, and we will address them in just a little bit. So before we go on to see the video of why doTERRA, what makes doTERRA different, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that the antiviral thing. So basically, viruses reside inside of our cells. Their manipulation or a mutation, or of a variation of our DNA. It's actually inside our cells, and our cells have a fatty layer on the outside that's only soluble by oils. And if you take an antibiotic, it's water soluble and it can't penetrate that cell wall, but essential oils actually can. So that's something that's really neat. So I'm going to play this video for you on what makes doTERRA different and why choose doTERRA. Hello. Okay. So I love that video because it kind of explains what makes doTERRA different. And one of the really huge things about doTERRA that makes it different from other essential oils that are out there is they source from indigenous regions, like he talked about in the video. So the oils come from where they're indigenous to. So instead of growing lavender here in Texas, where I live, for example, lavender is sourced from farmers and families who have farmed lavender for generations and generations for essential oil use, high altitudes of France. And lemon, it comes from Italy. Peppermint comes, and the reason why this is so important for the oils to all come from where they're indigenous to. Vetiver comes from Haiti. And the reason that all of these, that it really matters, is because the chemical makeup of every single one of these oils varies according to weather, altitude, humidity, the type of soil. And it's so important that the oils are sourced from these indigenous regions. Now, the really exciting thing that I love about doTERRA is that they have worked really hard to establish co-impact sourcing of their oils. And what that means is that when they go into a region to find a family, to find a farm, to find a community that raises a certain plant for the oils, they want to make sure that they're supporting the community in that area as well. So what co-impact sourcing is that they want to ensure doTERRA corporate, the people who source the oils at doTERRA. So Emily Wright is on she's one of the owners of doTERRA, and she works with sourcing. And it's really important to them when they go, they're supporting a community so that these farms can be supported and that they can be growing these things abundantly and correctly. So a lot of times in the poorer communities, in Haiti where they grow vetiver, the community was so destitute, they were walking miles and miles every day to get clean water. And this is a problem all over the world, not having clean water. And it's something that is very common, but for a farmer already have to do all day, every day, it's that much more difficult for them to pay that close attention to their farms and their plants and to be growing their business. And so doTERRA went in and they worked with this community, and doTERRA has a foundation which is separate. It's a sister that you can donate to when you order from doTERRA, and completely through the Healing Hands Foundation, and dig well on running water in this community where they're growing this vetiver in Haiti. They're building clinics, they're building schools, they're teaching the children about hygiene, and they're really developing the communities. They're developing co-ops between the farmers and the communities on different farms so that they all have a fair and even wage, and there's no cutting each other down. They usually, in these poor of the world, these farming communities, it's either feast or famine. They get paid one time a year, whatever price that the buyers decide to pay them that year, whatever the going price is for that year, and that's when they have money. And then the rest of the year, they kind of have to make that work. Well, with doTERRA, they have gone in and they're paying these communities and these families and these farms salaries for the work that they're doing. They're paying them throughout the year. And that's huge. So they're paying them before the harvest even comes, before they even get the oil. And the really neat thing is that doTERRA, they've established this trust, these agreements with these communities and with these farmers, but also they have very strict guidelines. So if the oils don't meet the standards of doTERRA, if they're not free of heavy metals, of anything, if the oil is not distilled correctly and it's harmed, they will send the oil back. They will get their investment back, and they will allow them to sell it to someone else. So that's something that's really neat. So I'm going to go back really quick to the PowerPoint. So, oh, whoops, I forgot to share my screen. Okay, so this is a little bit what we were talking about. This is a cell, viruses or cell, bacteria resides outside. So essential oils can actually penetrate the cell of where that virus actually is. So each liter of oil undergoes third-party laboratory testing. Sorry. This is essential oil production as a whole in the country. So it kind of shows you therapeutic grade oils are, they're few and far between. When you go in the grocery store, the problem with those oils is that they are usually highly adulterated. So they'll usually have lavender, for example, is the most adulterated essential oil. It usually won't be one lavender plant being distilled and put into a bottle. Usually it's bulked up with some either natural or synthetic chemical compounds that are found. They are found in lavender, but they are not from that same lavender. They're usually added to, and it creates an imbalance in the oil, which can create an imbalance in your body. So that's why that's not really a good thing. So aromatic is, these are the three ways we're going to talk about how to use essential oils. Aromatic is a really great way to affect your airways, to kill germs in the air, and to affect mood. So any kind of mood disorder, any kind of mood issues going on, aromatic is always going to be the best way to get the oils into your system. This picture here is the Lotus diffuser that doTERRA has. It's a really, really nice diffuser. I think it's a good diffuser for if you need something to look pretty somewhere. So some kind of office, front room, waiting area. It only has a 1 hour on time, and then you don't always have to refill it, but you have to turn it back on. So for general home use, it's not always my favorite, but it is a really pretty, really nice diffuser, and it's sturdy. It lasts for a long time. And diffusion, the thing you want to remember about diffusion is that you want to use an ultrasonic or a nebulizing diffuser. You never want to heat up the oils because it actually can alter therapeutic constituents, and it actually could make them harmful. So it can kill the therapeutic benefits, and it can also make them toxic. So you don't want to heat up your essential oils. These kind of diffusers basically vibrate at such high speed that they break down the oils into tiny little particles and put them out into the air. So basically, you want to read all the instructions on your diffuser. doTERRA offers 4 diffusers, and all of them are ultrasonic or nebulizing, and they're all really, really great diffusers. We'll talk a little bit about those later. So topical use is really good for children. Mostly for my kids, that's all I do is topical or aromatic. They smell a lot of the oils, but topical, you want to use the oils on the bottom of your feet. Your feet have the biggest pores in your body, so the effects of the oil get through your bloodstream within 30 seconds. So that's how powerful they are and how effective. So you don't even have to take them internally to get them in your body. It's actually very effective to use them topically. They get right into your bloodstream. With hot oils or with some more caustic oils like a citrus oil, you want to use a carrier oil. Some people say dilute. It's not necessarily dilution, because if you're doing 1 drop of oil, you're still getting 1 drop of oil into your system. You're just using a carrier oil to protect your skin. And actually, if you use coconut oil, doTERRA has a fractionated coconut oil that has been heated so that it remains constantly in liquid form. And the fractionated coconut oil is the closest oil to the natural oil of your skin. So it actually helps push the oils into your system better, and it's really, really effective. So you want to use oils topically wherever the area of concern is. And so people are always like, well, what do I do? You can always put them on your feet, but if you have a headache, put them on your head. If you have a neck ache, put them on your neck. If you have a stomach ache, put them on your stomach. Put them where the area of concern is. So, and also your hands have the next biggest pores in your body behind your ears. Your ears have the next biggest pores after your feet and your hands. So your ears are a really great place too. And if you know any reflexology, or if you are interested in that, you can always look up charts. It's very interesting. Reflexology is really effective to use with your essential oils as well. So internal use, how to use essential oils internally is it's not as hard as it sounds. You can use oils in water for different things. I will gargle my oils in water if I have a sore throat or strep throat. You can use lemon or peppermint in your water to help naturally as a natural detox and to give you energy. You can take oils under your tongue. You take them under your tongue, they get into your bloodstream very quickly, in a gel capsule or in water. It relieves digestive issues, mouth, throat, and liver. When you have digestive issues, I recommend using a gel cap that is a slow release gel cap, and they don't open until they're in your gut, and so they help a lot more with that. And what you want to make sure when you're doing internal use is that you're using the highest quality oil. You're using a doTERRA essential oil. I don't recommend internal use for just any oils. And also, let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, with doTERRA's oils, I can come back to the video, to myself, and show. Is it showing me yet? Oh, stop sharing screen. So I was going to show you my oils right here. Whoa, my screen got weird. Okay, so this is my fun case, doTERRA backwards. This case is from aromatools.com. If you're interested, it's a really great place to get books, literature, extra oil bottles, cases. So if you look, you can see this is a bottle of doTERRA lime oil, or whatever that is backwards. And on the oils that you can take internally, you will see a supplement label. And also on the bottles, it says for aromatic, topical, and internal use. Where is that? Where are you? Oh, there we go. So it's backwards, but for aromatic, topical, and internal use. So if it's an oil that is not meant to be used internally, it will not have that. So I have here Arbor Vitae, it's one of my favorite oils, and it does not have a supplement label. And on this bottle, you will see it says for aromatic and topical use. So that's how you can, ensure that you're using your oils safely and correctly. Another safety tip is you don't want to put oils in your eyes, in your ears, or in your nose. If you have the ear one is the one that people generally want to do the most. Eyes make sense. Don't put oils in your eyes. If you do get them in your eyes, dilute with oil. Do not use water. Water, if you think about it like an oil burn, right? If there's an oil fire, you don't put water on it because it spreads. You throw something over it. But with oils, you can actually use a dilution, a carrier oil, to get that sting out, to dilute the oil. If you use water, it will spread and it will burn. For anywhere, that's on your skin, that's in your eyes, anywhere, use an oil if it's hot, if it's hurting. In your nose, you don't want to get the oils up in your nose, but the ears is the one that people tend to like to mess with. And your ears, you don't want to stick anything in your ears. My girls have had one bad ear infection each, and all we've had to do is put a drop of basil and melaleuca and purify on a cotton ball, and we just put that in their ear. And so that is all we had to do. And so you put it on the cotton ball and you just place the cotton ball in the ear. I have to plug in my computer. This is an emergency. Sorry. I'll be right back. Oops. You're getting to see my whole room. I totally thought it was plugged in that whole time, and it was not. Okay, so that was fun. So now that we've talked about how to use oils and what makes doTERRA different, I want, if anyone has any questions, please. Somehow the Q&A got disabled. Why is it disabled? Q&A. Weird. Okay, well, I really don't know how to turn the Q&A back on. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me after the broadcast or comment on the YouTube page. My email is aranda, A-R-A-N-D-A, doterra, D-O-T-E-R-R-A, @gmail.com, because I lost the chat box and I feel so bad. It says this feature is disabled, and I am not very sure how to re-enable it. So we're just gonna go through here the last couple things, and hopefully you don't have questions. I feel really bad. I'm gonna try one more time. Oh, I can make myself look really vintagey. This is on task. Okay, so I'm going to be vintage. Right here is the Modern Essentials Guide. So I want you to think back on your top 3 health concerns or goals. I apologize for the crazy camera. Think about those top 3 concerns. This is a really, really great usage guide. It comes from aromatools.com, and there's a big, tall one that you can get, a hardcover, and then there's this spiral-bound, smaller book. I prefer the smaller book myself because it essentially has almost all the same things. There's some really cool charts and stuff in the big one. There's also recipes, like cleaning recipes, spa recipes in the big one. So it's a really great resource to have in your home. This one I love because I can put it in my purse. I can take it everywhere with me. It's great. So what this book is the beginning of the book has all of the oils and different uses for them. So if you already have lavender oil, for example, and you bought it because you have itchy skin. That sounds weird. That's very general, but my kids are always itchy, and I think they're allergic to the grass, and they're all, all sorts of different things, but lavender's our go-to itchy oil. So if you have skin issues, you have whatever. But if that's why you got the lavender, or if you got the lavender to relax because you know that it's really good for relaxation and calming, but you don't know how else to use it, and you think, well, I need to be using this more because I know that it's good for other things, you can go to the front of your book and you can look up what are all the different uses for lavender. There's also really cool distillation explanation of what they're doing when they're distilling the oils and how they extract these oils from these plants. There's a reflexology chart. Oh, there are some recipes in the little book too. Lemon bars, yum. There's reflexology. Okay. The vast majority of the book is this ailment section in the back, and you look up ailments alphabetically: pelvic pain syndrome, plague, pleurisy, pineal gland, sterility, stimulating, stress, and it gives you primary, secondary, and tertiary recommendations of oils that you can use for each ailment. So this is a really incredible tool to figure out what it is that you need. Now, if you haven't ordered oils before, and this is the webinar that you're attending because you're interested in ordering for the first time, there's a website that you can go to, and I am providing for anyone who's on here new and is interested in ordering oils a free 30-minute one-on-one consult to kind of figure out what oils would best meet your wellness needs. And so that is something you don't really need to worry about. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know exactly what oils you need specifically, because we can talk about that one-on-one personally. But once you have them, this is a really, really great tool. Another book I love, this is called Emotions and Essential Oils, and it goes in depth as to what each oil does emotionally. So it's really cool because sometimes your body there's different ways that you can figure out if your body is needing an oil. Sometimes you'll just crave an oil, like the smell of something. If it gets passed around and you smell it and you go, oh, that's so good. your body probably really needs it. There's also a tool called a Zytoscan that you can use that scans the energy systems of your body, and it's a biofeedback reader. It reads kind of what you need, and it will let you know you need this oil, this oil, this oil. And then when you go through this book, it's pretty incredible that it's meeting your physical needs, but it also generally will meet your emotional needs as well. And it's really in depth, and it's just a really neat book. So I'm going to just kind of show you some of my favorite oils and the different experiences we've had, and different things that you can use them for. So one of my favorite oils is this blend called Balance. So Balance is a grounding blend. It's full of tree oils. The oils that are in it are spruce, hoe wood, frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and fractionated coconut oil. So this is my 2-year-old is crazy and can't calm down from her tantrum. This is the I can't sleep. What else? I refer to myself. I'm a very, well, if you're familiar with energy types, I'm a type 3 person. I'm just go, go, go. And maybe a little bit manic, just always having ideas, very active. And sometimes I can tend to kind of feel very ungrounded, and I call it spiraling. And if you ever get that feeling of stress and just that spiraling feeling, this Balance is the best oil. So that's one of my favorites. One that kind of goes with it is Serenity. So Serenity oil is it's lavender, marjoram, chamomile, ylang ylang, Hawaiian sandalwood, and vanilla. And the Serenity is a really great partner to the Balance, but it's different. It's an anti-anxiety. It's a calming oil, and so I use it when not necessarily when I'm stressed and I'm trying to do too much, but when I'm just having trouble coping, or if I can feel my anxiety, really bad. I live in Granbury, Texas, and has it been 2 years now? I think so. 2 years ago, we had really, really bad tornadoes here. We were on the national news. You might have heard about it. You probably forgot by now because you don't live here. But they touched down. We have a big lake in our town that's pretty much empty right now. But they touched down just across the lake from us. So by how the crow flies, it was less than 2 miles away from our house where the tornadoes touched down. They looked like, my husband was standing on the front porch watching outside, and he said that they looked like they were in the neighborhood right next to ours. But then we found out where they actually were. But in that moment, I was in the bathtub pregnant with was I pregnant? That's irrelevant. I had 2 small children in the bathtub with me with mattresses and pillows on top of us, and I was having a panic attack. And so when my husband came in from the porch from being outside with all of the tornadoes, he brought me, I said, "Bring me my Serenity." And he brought it, and I put it right over my heart. And immediately that racing feeling, that inability to catch my breath went away. So this is a really, really great oil. Breathe. Breathe is an oil that you'll hear a lot about, especially this time of year. Breathe is a respiratory support. Breathe. It has smells that you're probably very familiar with from something else that you might have used your entire life as a small child from the drugstore. It contains laurel, peppermint, eucalyptus, melaleuca, lemon, ravensara, and cardamom, and it just recently started having the cardamom in it, and I will tell you, the cardamom provides such amazing respiratory support and smells so good. This is the oil that I will put on my kids' chests, or I will put it on a cotton ball and tuck the cotton ball in their shirt, and then we'll go around town running errands, and people will be like, why does your baby smell so good? And I'm like, it's just essential oil. Do you want some? Here's a sample. No, but they just can't believe, they think it's like perfume or something, which is hilarious to me, but it smells so good. and it is the best respiratory support. We put it in our diffuser when our kids or ourselves are having a hard time sleeping. When you have that deep cough that when you lay down, it makes it hard to sleep. It doesn't, you stay sick for weeks because at night it comes back. We diffuse, breathe for a couple of nights, and the cough is gone. In conjunction with frankincense, frankincense, you might hear frankincense and think, thought that was like what Jesus had back in the day. Like, isn't that from the Bible? Well, Jesus did have frankincense. It was the actual resin. So frankincense comes from the resin of a tree. The resin is distilled and it becomes the frankincense oil. And frankincense is like the end all of everything. If you ever don't know what to use frankincense. It's anti-everything. Anti-cancerous, anti-tumoral, anti-convulsant, anti-anxiety, anti-everything. Antiviral, antibacterial. It's incredible. And if you don't know what to use, frankincense will usually be a great tool. We like frankincense, I was saying, in conjunction with the breathe, because the frankincense, in my experience, which I had not read yet that it was such a strong anticonvulsant, and I have had kind of a coughing, like lung asthmatic issue my whole life. I was born and my lungs collapsed when I was a baby, and when I was a preteen, if I was around anyone, any kind of secondhand smoke for an extended period of time, like a day or more, I would get a cough that would last for months and months. I remember as a kid, my friends' parents asking me, "Are you okay? Like, you cough all the time. Like, are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, what are you talking about? Like, I just cough all the time." And it was just an irritating tickle. It was like a pressure on my chest, and an irritating tickle that I couldn't get rid of. And now, when I get different illnesses, that tries to linger, and that comes and kind of stays. I also have allergies, and it will come then, and it's just that tickle that just does not go away, and you just feel like you always have to cough. Well, I read somewhere a couple years ago, I don't remember what caused me to do it, but I used frankincense on my throat when I was having that issue. I could not sleep, and immediately I fell asleep. And the really, really incredible thing is, afterwards I went and looked, and frankincense is an anticonvulsant. It's great. It's used historically for respiratory support, and so all of the things that I needed, it was there. And so every time I probably had used it just because I knew that frankincense was good for everything, and it really is. So frankincense is what kind of introduced us to oils, because our mentors who taught us about the essential oils and introduced us to them, Scott and Cheyenne Hathaway. Cheyenne has a prolactinoma brain tumor and has been able to stay off medications from an endocrinologist and all these different hormonal things. She's been able to get pregnant and nurse, which is unheard of when you have this type of tumor, by using her frankincense every day. So it's really, really incredible. Let's see. On Guard, I talked about On Guard a little bit. On Guard is a immune support, and it contains clove, cinnamon, wild orange, rosemary. It's really, really a great oil for a sore throat. I'll only take it internally if my throat's really itching me. That I used to have that spray when I was a little kid from the over-the-counter stuff that numbs the back of your throat. That's On Guard. On Guard will help. I generally take it whenever a sickness is going around in my home. Whenever we've been exposed to something, I'll put it on the bottom of my kids' feet in the morning and at night, and I'll take it under my tongue. Or when I wake up in the morning, if I haven't been sleeping well, or if I've been exposed to stuff, if I feel that little tickle, if I feel like I'm coming down with something, I'll take it then, and I don't get it. It's been really incredible. We haven't had the flu this season. We had a little cold for about a week between all of us. Someone would have it for 2 days, and then 2 more people would have it for 2 days. But other than that, it's really incredible how we just haven't gotten sick. So I love that On Guard. Oregano is another great one to use with the On Guard. Oregano is nature's it's been used historically as an antibiotic. You'll hear, I have a friend who's Hispanic that said, my grandma used to make me take oregano. I don't know if she would boil it down and make like a tincture, or if she would make her like take the dry herb, but she said my grandmother made me take oregano all the time and it was so gross. And but oregano is highly anti-inflammatory, it's antibacterial, antiviral. It's really, really great on the bottom of your feet, or in conjunction with the On Guard in a capsule. If you have something that you would normally, I have used it in the past for things that I would normally take an antibiotic for. So like when I had MRSA, and when I had cellulitis in my arm, and some pretty severe infections, I've used that. So Slim and Sassy is a really cool oil that has a silly name, Slim and Sassy. That it was developed, it's a metabolic blend. It helps to amp up your metabolism, and it's in a good way. It balances your system. So it contains the oils of foods that if you go to any Eastern country and you kind of learn about diet and that type of thing, it's the foods that they would recommend for you to be able to lose weight. And so cinnamon helps regulate your blood sugar in that Slim and Sassy. Ginger helps to aid in digestion. Lemon is a gentle natural detox. Peppermint aids in digestion. And what am I forgetting? Ginger, peppermint, grapefruit helps curb cravings and get rid of addictions. Sugar addiction is a really, really huge one. And this is a little book you can get from doTERRA. It's like $1 or less. It's a lemon about Sassy. The recommended use is 3 to 5 drops in water 3 to 5 times a day. This is a kit that you can get with some trim shakes, which are really great protein shakes from doTERRA, and the Slim and Sassy oil. So that's a great tool as well. I really wish that I had the chat working, because then I would just take questions right now. Let me see if I could figure out, how do I enable this feature? Control. Whoops. I wonder. No, I don't want to mute my microphone. Huh. Chat. That's what I want. And please let me know. That was really attractive, me looking down at the thing. Any ailments you want me to look up? We can talk about what oils would be good for that. I can look for, I'll do a couple more oils. I'll show you my case, actually. These are all of our oils. We prefer to organize our oils according to rainbow order. Oh, I always love seeing how people arrange their oils. Digest Zen is a really great oil for digestive issues. It is a digestive blend. It has fennel and off the top of my head, I can never remember. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, no, it does. Ginger, fennel, peppermint, caraway, coriander, tarragon, anise. And we use this for all types of stomach issues. You know how Pepto-Bismol in the commercial, they're like, constipation, upset stomach, diarrhea, every kind of stomach issue. Whichever way it's going, this helps achieve homeostasis. And to be honest, the smell of it now makes me, I have a very memory, like sensory memory, and so when I smell things, I remember other things that I smelled in that time. So it kind of makes me nauseous, the smell of it now, because it works so well and we use it all the time whenever our kids are throwing up. So that's what it makes me smell in my brain. Yummy. Peppermint, just peppermint by itself is really, really great for energy. It's great for stomach issues, headaches, It's a very versatile oil that you'll use for lots of things. Um, I feel like there's another blend that I need to talk about. Breathe, digest, send, on guard, someone sassy. Elevation is one of our other favorites. Elevation is uh, called the Joyful Blend. I have friends that call it their Get Up and Go blend. It helps with lack of motivation, with um, just kind of being down and kind of not really having the energy to go. Um, Elevation's really, really great, and it contains Melissa in it. And Melissa is actually unavailable from doTERRA right now. It's the most expensive oil that you can get. I think it's $120 wholesale. And Melissa is actually a really incredible oil in that it actually helps repair your DNA. And what that means is basically that when your DNA is fractured or frayed, it's open and susceptible to halting your process, your ability to process emotions, to build strong immunity. There's lots of different things that are affected when your DNA is in disrepair, and the Melissa is incredible at doing that. So that Elevation blend is one of our absolute favorites. So if there aren't any questions, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint really quick. There we go. Share. Okay. So we go down here. So this kind of shows what someone's medicine cabinet might look like, which ours was a giant box for like the 2 years that we were married before we had oils. And this is all the things that you would need to replace all of that stuff. So these are natural solutions that you can use instead of what's in your medicine cabinet now. So Lifelong Vitality is doTERRA's supplement that is pretty incredible. They have formulated and reformulated these supplements so many times, and there was a nurse that she looked over what was in the oils and said, and kind of researched it all and figured that in order to have all of the same vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you get inside these 3 bottles, you would have to have over 40 individual supplements that you get at the store. And they're very high quality supplements. If you're familiar with supplements at all, you know that the ones in the drugstore are nowhere near equal to really high quality supplements. And what makes these different is that they're whole food based supplements. They contain digestive enzymes and surfactants that actually help break down the supplement before you, like while they're still in the capsule. And what that does is it increases the solubility. So the solubility of any kind of over the counter, or these are over the counter, but any kind of, drugstore supplement, the solubility is very, very low. That's why sometimes you'll see that your pee is lime green. Well, that means you're peeing out all the stuff that you just paid for. It's like dollars in the toilet. So when you increase the solubility, it actually makes it so that instead of going into your stomach and then floating off this water layer and just going straight out of your system, they're actually already being pre-broken down so that once it gets in your stomach, it can absorb and actually readily use those nutrients. So in doing so, because there's such great absorption, up to 80% absorption of the nutrients in these supplements, the really, really cool thing is that the amazing things that people have seen in using them. My immunity is so much higher when I use these. I have less of a temper. I'm less of a short leash. When I use my supplements, I'm more calm. I actually was diagnosed. It's not something I like to share a lot because I've learned a lot of things since then. I don't necessarily think that certain things are true. I do think there's a lot of overdiagnosis of mental disorders and learning things and lots of different things. But I was actually diagnosed in college as bipolar and put on medication, and I felt even crazier because I didn't feel like myself. And I was diagnosed as bipolar hypomanic, which basically meant I was mostly manic all the time. And which is so funny to me because I'm just an active, dynamic, full of life kind of person. I mean, that's just who I am, and putting a label on it didn't really help things, but there were things that I needed support in, and that was, learning to relax and be calm and take things easy and not stress out, and be excited and be active in life, but not, take that too far to where I stress myself out and I crash and burn. So these really help me to stay balanced and to stay level. People who have energy issues or pain, high inflammation, and they have lots of pain disorders like fibromyalgia and things like that, these are the number one. So we really try to focus on wellness, and people always want to know what oils will help them with chronic issues. And the thing that I always just say is that the oils are really, really incredible at helping your body come back to homeostasis. But if you have something chronic going on at a deeper level, you really need to work on your whole, everyone does, but you especially really need to work on your whole wellness. And the oils are going to be a band-aid. Help you if you have these chronic issues in that moment to be okay, so that you can then seek out and work on your whole wellness. And that's why these are so foundational to any oil use, because if you're using oils on something that's chronic, you're just going to have to keep using them. You're going to spend a lot of your money on oils, and they help. Like I said, I use the Serenity and the Balance a lot. I use them if I'm having a really, super stressful day, if I've turned my gears too high, if I'm doing too much, or if the circumstances, you can't control your circumstances. If something happens around me that's stressful or creates imbalance, but I have less of those strength of feelings when I'm taking my supplements and my nutrition is balanced. So the really cool thing about the supplements, this is a whole bunch of wordy stuff, but basically that those supplements cost $75 a bottle if you buy them wholesale just by themselves. But doTERRA has this really great program called the Loyalty Rewards Program, and if you order every month, if you order product from doTERRA every month, you get points back in free product. And so it starts at 10%, and after a year you'll be getting 30% back. And the cool thing is that if you're using things habitually like the supplements, then through this program they discount them deeply. So the supplements are $75 altogether for a month's supply if you get them on the Loyalty Rewards Program. The Slim and Sassy Trim Kit is a great one to get monthly. If you're trying to lose weight, it's a great program. The Women's Health Kit. I didn't really talk about women's health. The Clary Calm Oil, PMS, cramping, mood swings, that type of stuff. I use it after I have my babies, and it's incredible support. I usually have night sweats for weeks. My first baby, that's what happened, and after my second, the same thing started happening. And I would wake up drenched. I'd have to take all my sheets off. I'd have to change my clothes. And then I remembered I had the Claricom oil, and I started putting it around my ankles, which is where the pressure points are for your women parts. And I started rolling it around those areas before I would go to bed, and I did not have night sweats anymore at all. So that was really incredible to me. Let's see how effective that oil was. So the Women's Health Kit this says Solus. That was the old name. It's Claricom. So I had a supply of them. That's why I have one of the old ones. But that and phytoestrogen complex, which I do a women's class, which I could talk more about that. But they're really great for hormonal support. And so those are some of the different things that you could get monthly on that Loyalty Rewards Program. Now we're going to talk about how you can get a you know, how you can get wholesale, how you can get 25% off through doTERRA, and you don't have to do that monthly order. That's just a really great benefit that you can take advantage of. So what success tips for using these natural solutions really quick: use common sense. There's a lot of fear out there now about oils, and there's a lot of people thinking they know what's right, and you know, lots of different ideas. And really, if you're using common sense and you're using the idea that less is more, you always want to start with 1 drop of oil. That's it. And dilute it, you know, be safe by diluting for children or for hotter oils. But you start with 1 drop, and then if you need more, you use more. And the funny thing about oils when you're using them is very counterintuitive to how we've been taught to use medicine. So with medicine, we've been taught, you take this, you wait 20 minutes, and then it'll start working, and then you're okay for 4 hours, and then you can't take another one for an hour after that. So then you take another one. Well, with oils, when I have a headache, I take a drop of peppermint in my mouth, and I rub a drop over my forehead and wherever it's hurting in my head. And I wait, and usually immediately once I put it on, it takes off the edge. And then after a couple minutes, it's almost gone. And then once it kind of wears off, after 30, 45 minutes, it'll kind of eke back in. So then I'll apply some more. And then again, immediately, it'll kind of knock it out. And then you wait 15, 20, 30 more minutes, kind of eke a tiny bit back in, apply another drop. And that's kind of the thing that's different about starting to use oils. That's what makes it a little different. So that's the old Modern Essentials Guide in that picture right there. And the book that I showed you earlier, that was the Modern Essentials Guide. I really recommend that. If you want to look up your ailments on your own before we talk, actually it's new everythingessential.me. That website is essentially the book online. It's not as in-depth as the book. It doesn't have as much information, but it does have really great resources. You can search by ailment. You can search by oil, and it can help you kind of figure out what type of things you'd be interested in getting. So, and use caution with sensitive skin. Keep out of eyes, nose, and ears, like we talked about. So, So choose your cost. So the modern medicine cabinet treats symptoms. It's synthetic. There's side effects. It expires. Oh, and that's the other thing. doTERRA, or oils, essential oils in general, as long as you keep them out of the sun and in a cool, dry place, they will outlast you. So all essential oils are natural volatile compounds. They're naturally going to oxidize and break down over time, but it would take decades. And once you open a bottle, it's of course going to oxidize more quickly, but not as long as you don't leave it in the hot sun, or as long as you don't leave the cap off. If you leave the cap off, the oil will diffuse into the air, but the oil will outlast you. So, and modern over-the-counter stuff is time-consuming. You know, you have to wait and for it to work, and you have to go get it, and you have to go to the doctor. And so for a modern medicine cabinet to have everything you need for all different types of ailments that would occur, it would cost $812.79. $812.79. So there was an actual advocate who went out and bought all of these things to see how much it cost, and then what they did, and all the oils you would need to replace all of those things. And the Natural Solutions Kit has true healing. Everything in it is all natural. There's various positive effects, extended shelf life, efficient and simple, and it's only $550. And that would last you years. So instead of the box of over-the-counter stuff that when you move, you're like, where'd it go? Ew, it's expired. Ew, it was in storage. That's what happened to us over and over again. So it's a really, really great option. So the Every Oil Kit is another awesome option. It has that lotus diffuser that I talked about. It also has a fractionated coconut oil. I was going to show you guys one, but I don't know where I put it. and it comes with a carrying case for all of the oils, and it has every single oil that doTERRA has. So that's really a really great value. You save almost $200. You get $200 in product credits, and you also start a 20% rewards back if you participate in that loyalty rewards program. So if you have any type of business, this is definitely what I recommend starting with, at least. So the Natural Solutions Kit, you save $90 by getting this kit. You start out with a diffuser. You get a really cool little wooden box. You get the supplements, oils. Now there's also a special going on. We'll come back to the Home Essentials Kit in just a minute. Anyone who orders anything over 100 PV, so PV is basically equal to dollars if you're getting oils. It's the point value of a product, it's the product value. And so if supplements and stuff, it varies slightly. But as long as you do 100 PV in an order, and then you do 100 PV in an order in March, then you set it up through me, then you get 100 points in free oils. Plus, what Bubba and I are offering to any new enrollees through us, who enroll through us, is an oil up to $50 retail value, any oil that you want. So that we would offer you in addition to that 100 points in free oils. So anyone who gets that's for anyone who gets a Natural Solutions Kit. Anyone who gets, so if you don't want to, I think that everyone, of course, wants a Natural Solutions Kit. If that's not something that you can do right now, but you really want to get started with your oils, the Home Essentials Kit is a really, really great kit to start with. It comes with the 10 most used oils that you're going to use for almost every ailment and different thing that you have. You save $41 off the wholesale price of all of these different oils, and it's only $250, and each tall oil is 15 milliliters. It has 250 drops. So if you think about it, like a drop is a dose. So anytime you're sick, you're going to use 20 drops over the course of an illness. So the bottles will last you a while. The short bottles, the frankincense, actually, this kit has changed. What am I doing? This is an old PowerPoint. This kit actually, let me pull it up. The kit actually comes with a diffuser now, and it's $275. So please excuse that. If you haven't ordered yet, check out Google doTERRA enrollment kits. And when you get one of these kits that we're talking about, you are automatically enrolled in a 1-year wholesale membership, where you get 25% off all of doTERRA's products and all of their oils. And so if you weren't interested in getting a kit and you just wanted to pick out one by one what oils you wanted, then you sorry, I'm going to bring the screen back to me. Then you just have to spend 100 point value in oils to still do the promotion that's going on through Saturday. It's just through this Saturday. But you would pay $35 to enroll in a wholesale membership. When you get a kit, that $35 fee is waived for that yearly membership. So thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions, if you would like to enroll in that awesome promotion to get $100 in free oils, then please feel free to email me at arandadoterra@gmail.com, ARANDA doterra@gmail.com, and I can get with you as soon as possible to do a one-on-one kind of consultation, and we can figure out what would best fit your needs. I thank you all for coming, and have a great night.